All right, guys, welcome back to Paradise Skate Mag podcast. I'm here with my man, Carl Bourguignon.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. So Carl's from France, fucking Paris, right?
Paris.
Yeah, amazing place.
Born and raised.
Yeah? So tell me your story, man. How'd you get started with skating?
So how it actually started was my dad used to skate way back, like
What?
90s, 80s, something like that. Just skating as a hobby, pushing around. One time he took me to the park, just the local park we had next to our house in Paris. And we just went skating, and my dad was not actually that good at skating, but I was just like, I had that competition thing where I was like, I really want to try to get better than him. And so we went a few times, and then I went back by myself after that, and then I tried to get, so he used to do easy tricks, just like roll-ins, rocks, maybe drop in, shove it, and then after that I was like, after I learned those tricks, I was like, damn, that's pretty cool. I might stick with it. So I just kept going to the park, kept training, kept trying, and yeah, I just stuck with it. And it also gave me such a feeling of freedom, you know?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we all seek for, but yeah, pretty much it.
Adventure, right? Like
Adventure.
challenging yourself.
For me, it was like, I started skating when I was 11-ish. And at this time, I had zero freedom, not zero freedom, but like you're still a kid in a big city, so you're not allowed to go out, you're not allowed to explore by yourself. And skateboarding was kind of like an excuse or reason for me to be outside and be like doing shenanigans or all around and just going around taking metro and stuff. And I got all of that freedom and trust from my parents because I was going for skating. I was not going for, I don't know, like playing video games with my friends or like just doing whatever in the city, but just like I was going skating. So yeah, I could explore and go pretty far, like, you know, going 30, 40 kilometers away from your home when you're 12, 13 is pretty crazy.
Seriously.
Taking all the metros and stuff.
Yeah, and like usually I think we're riding, as kids we're riding bicycles, you know, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But skateboarding is like a whole different thing, yeah?
For sure.
It's like a little bit of a, it's almost like you're not doing a good thing, but you are doing a good thing. Because skateboarding, you can fuck up property, you know what I mean? You're hopping fences, like all this crazy stuff, right? So it makes it more fun like that. Like
a lot of street skating in Paris as well, yeah.
Like messing up the curbs, messing up the ledges. Like,
for sure.
But you know, you're not doing drugs. You're not like doing graffiti. You're creating art. You know, doing dancing and shit, basically. Like.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about earlier. So it also gives you such a different vision about life, and like there's so many ways to approach skateboarding, and so many ways that skateboarding influenced the world and influenced your world as well. Yeah. That is just so rich and so enriching as well.
Totally. So what was the Paris skate scene like back then?
Wow. It's hard to describe because there is a lot of skaters in Paris. It's pretty active. A lot of pros come by, a lot of events happening during my whole like skate like Parisian time. Yeah. But there's also this part where when you become older and you're trying to like go street skating with your friends, there's a lot of gatekeeping in Paris. There's a lot of small crews, and if you're not part of that crew, you're not gonna skate with them. So it's just like you always hang out and meet up at the spot. But after meeting up at the spot, everyone goes separate way, and it's just like I feel like it's really weird. Whereas in different cities that I visited, it was way more friendlier. And like, I don't know, Milan, for instance, everyone goes skate together, everyone goes film together, the filmer just films everyone. It's just, it's not like, oh, this filmer is that crew, so we're just gonna do that and that. Right. So there's that. And we also have, I have two sides of my skateboarding, of course, because there's a street skating and park skating / competition skating. Sure. And skateboarding in the skate parks in Paris, it's kind of tough. Like, it's the capital of France, but still we don't have like proper like Parisian skate parks. There is, but they're really far away from Paris. They're outside Paris. Like, you got to take the Bourguignon train for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Okay. It's pretty far away. So yeah, so there's those two sides of Paris. But on the counterpart of it, there's also the fact that it's an amazing street scene. Yeah. There's a bunch of spots, a bunch of really cool spots, maillot spot, ledges, rails. Pretty much everything you want to skate, you can skate.
Yeah, like marble floors, everything's like really nice granite stuff. Yeah. Like there's that kind of DIY park, I think, in the middle of the city, right? Where there's like some pyramids and ledges and stuff, like in the middle of open plaza. It's
green
a
one?
really famous place. Yeah.
Shame up, the
yeah.
green one. Not a DIY, but it looks like a DIY.
Or it's like somebody built it. Some like company came in and built the little obstacles in the middle of the park. I forget the name of it, but everybody kind of goes there and does like crazy shit on the hips, and like there's like a little curb on top of the hip kind of a thing. And
I'm trying to think about which part you're talking about.
and then there's the spot that's Le Dome with all the
Yeah,
hubbas
Le
and
Dome.
stuff. That's really famous as well.
That's crazy that it's a skate spot because
I know,
it's a monument. It's
like
supposed to be a monument.
Isn't it like a museum or some shit right
It
there?
is
Yeah.
2 museums actually,
Yeah.
2 of the biggest contemporary arts museums
Yeah.
on both sides, and there was pretty cool exhibitions, and it's a really cool. It's my local spot actually, but
Sick.
the skaters, they're the old skaters, like the eldest there. They're super nice, and they're also in talks all the time with the owner and the manager of the place, and
cool.
it's really cool because they're hosting cross events, and they're letting us know ahead because this place get shut down a lot because of events, fashion week, fashion shows, concerts. There's a lot of stuff happening there, and so it's really nice to have like a dialogue with everyone, so both parts are aware of what we're doing, and they know we're taking care of the place. We're trying like we always talk with them. It's really pretty nice. They're really chill.
Yeah, having the owner of the museum understand how skateboarding is like a part of art, I think that's just awesome. Kind of a similar thing at MACBA in Barcelona, right? You like I think the museum.
I think
owners,
even
like,
more.
Yeah.
Even more because we've done cross events already. We've had permissions to host events there. We've had
Wasn't that a Red Bull thing
Nike
or-
doing a
Nike?
really big event
That's
in 2008,
Yeah.
12. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
There's also Toyota not too long ago that did it because of Olympics partnerships they had. The local brand that the homies have there are selling shirts inside the museum shop, which is awesome. Without art directors asking for local skaters to perform during exhibitions and to integrate skateboarding into their shows and stuff. So it's pretty diverse and it's pretty complete about like the relationship between the skaters and the skate plaza and the museum.
Yeah.
So
cool, man.
yeah, super cool.
And it's not an easy spot to skate, man. That hub is huge.
Hard to
I've been
skate.
there. Like in the double set. I mean, it's a long double set. Like
it's long.
The
The
ledges
only
are
thing
high.
it's marble, and so it's super
slick, right?
flat and slick. You can just
just-
go, and it's really it's pretty mellow. It's like it looks very long. It is very long.
Yeah.
But you get a heaps of run up,
Yeah.
and then if you try it and actually go for it, it's not that high. So the impact you
Right.
take is not too bad.
Yeah.
In opposition to the other side where there is a 3 flat 4 with a huge flat in between.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's
yeah, I've seen that in videos, yeah.
That's the big part of the
Right,
dome. Which
true.
one? This one is really big to skate.
Yeah. There's some amazing skaters in Paris. Can you like talk about some of your friends out there, like some of your favorite skaters and
Wow.
people that inspire you out there?
Many people. So many
Yeah.
people. First, I hang out with a crew of like all these kids that we kind of grew up together, and we all went to different sides and like approach of skateboarding and stuff. But mainly, we were going street skating together. We don't really have a name for the crew or anything. It's just like we all skate together. The filmer we always go through is Mauricio Itan. He put out a project not too long ago. What was the name again? Sapphire. Okay. Sapphire. You should watch it. It's really, really cool. It's a really good example, representation of the skate scene there. It's really sick. Fortunately, I was not even involved in it because it was filmed in 2024, 2025, and I was away all this time.
Yeah.
And there's all the skaters, the Supreme Kids. We had a skate shop called Day Off, and it was a really, really cool place. Skater owned, passion driven. It was next to Republic, and they were always every week doing these events, bringing a bench or bringing a ledge, doing cash for tricks,
Sick.
little contests, super nice. And yeah, we all grew up with that. Shout out to Reda.
Yeah.
Reda is the owner of the shop.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, it's just like all these small crews going together and skating together. And then I also skate a lot at the training facility. Well, it's a skate park actually called Cosa Nostra. Super nice place. Also skater owned, passion driven since 1991. I think they're celebrating
Wow.
25 years, 20 years not too long ago, or 30 years. I don't even know. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
It's really it's pretty big, really nice. It's a wooden skate park, so the only thing is it gets soft really quick. Like they renew it every 3-4 years, and every time, because of humidity and the weather and stuff, the wood gets a little soft.
Yeah.
So there's that, and skater wise, dude, there's so much influence. Blobbies, there is so many crews. There's Hellas crews, Supreme crew. There's a lot of like thing happening, you know, like yeah, 3CCD as well. It's like a filming crew. But yeah, there's so much influence and
There's some amazing professional skaters.
Amazing what?
Amazing professional skateboarders, you know, coming out of France. What's the guy's name that rides for Lakai?
Patient, Salabonzi? Salabonzi?
Yeah, there's Salabanzi, yeah. One of the best
Just went back to
of all
Lakai.
time. Yeah, for sure.
Just went back to Lakai.
I mean, I consider him one of the goats of skateboarding, for real. 'Cause
Yeah,
like, even back in the day, he was just destroying stuff. And today, he's still destroying stuff. It's so sick to see.
I've seen, not recently ago, I've seen highlights of him skating contest in France.
Yeah.
In one of the biggest museums. That's also one thing I really find crazy about France is like, we do all these events, skateboarding is events in like historical places and museums and stuff. It's fucking crazy. But anyways, and just him throwing flip frontside board slide and like this huge rail into bank on, I don't know what contest it was, but it was in Le Grand Palais, which is huge.
Yeah.
Highlights, bro, they're so crazy.
Okay, and then, sorry.
No worries.
Aurélien Girard, one of my
Aurélien,
favorites.
Vincent.
Vincent Malou.
Yeah.
Lucas Puy, that was the guy I was
Lucas
thinking of.
Puig. Oh yeah. So
So
he skates for New Balance?
He used to skate for Lakai back in the day. Or not, maybe I could be wrong.
No, he skates for Adidas. Adidas.
Right, now, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But one of my
Adidas.
favorite like switch skaters is Lucas Puy.
Crazy. He skates for Adidas, Hellas. They did. I remember them, bro. This thing was crazy. I think it marked me and it will stay forever. They rented out the Eiffel Tower for their premiere.
Right. I think
remember
I saw
about
this.
that?
Yeah, I remember.
Hellas.
seeing
I don't know.
something
I don't have the name of the video yet in my head, but for the premiere they rented the fucking second floor of the Eiffel Tower, and there's like this place where you can just like project a movie or do weddings or whatever, and then that's
sick
crazy
spot,
to me.
What a perfect spot for like just a French video. The
I don't even know how they did it. I don't even know how that could do this. Crazy to me.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think it just goes to show that like French people are very innovative. They have a lot of style, right? There's a lot of like high-end fashion coming out of France. You know, a lot of amazing like just like creativity. And I think it comes from just like the old history there. There's so much history in France. Like it goes back millennia. Like there's so like Paris is a very old city, right? We have like history from the Middle Ages, history going back to like even before that, way back.
But even outside of Paris, there's a lot of skate scenes in France.
For sure.
There's the Paris skate scene, most notable ones: Paris, Lyon, Bordeaux, Marseille, a little bit as well. And then all the smaller cities that have, it's crazy how much, not impact, but like how certain very small cities glow and nationally and internationally from the talents they host and from the skate parks they host or from the spots they host.
True.
I think it's really impressive.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent coming out.
Yeah.
Always has been. So how did you get your start in like, professional skateboard, whatever, like doing contests and...
So as I said, when I was a kid, I started skating skate park first, and then street skating, and then I went back to skate parks again. I had that thing in France where if you get good enough results in competitions, you can get part times for your school schedule. So I was in a school during high school where I was only going school in the morning and then going skating in the afternoon, and that in the afternoon I was skating, but it had to be supervised, and it had to be an instructor which was taking care of me. So that's where Cosa Nostra went into take a big role into my life. Matthias, the owner of the park, and my coach back then, probably still now, but we just don't call that often now. Well, he used to be at the park every day, and I used to come right after school, doing 2 hours of transportation, back and forth,
Yeah.
which is crazy. And
That's a
now
lot.
that I'm talking about it, and that
It's
thing,
worth it.
and I was skating for the afternoon, and that thing lasted for 2-3 years, and it's just like I kept using skateboarding as a way to reduce my school time.
Yeah. Totally.
And even doing university now, I still to this day have those small agreements with the school where I'm allowed to go to contests, I'm allowed to go to trainings, whatever,
Right.
and miss classes, and it doesn't have an impact. Also because on the other side, I'm still doing the efforts I need to do and having the grades that I have to get to pass, which is something that I've always, like, it's the deal I've always had with my family and my parents. They were like, as long as you get the grades, you can still go skating and do that. They're really, really cool parents. They've pushed me through skateboarding. They've helped me, and yeah, they've been next to me for the whole time. When I was a kid, going to contests, my mom and my dad used to always switch roles and take me to that contest in the south of France and in the north of France, and we would go just for the weekend. Hectic. It was really cool.
What are some of the most notable or memorable contests that you skated?
Wow. First national championship, and before that regional championship, because France you have to qualify first in your region and then you're allowed to go to national ones. So exactly how I was talking about, the skate park used to have like that training which was called elite training, and it was just like we have private sessions with 1 or 2 or 3 coaches, and they were just like helping us towards the goals we were trying to do, preparing runs, learning tricks, learning how to create a run, how to seek for good grades when you're skating and stuff, that came in later with Olympic grading and stuff. But anyways, so
Right.
they prepared us for that small competition, which was the regional competition, which is happening in the skate park. So I did that one, qualified for the French nationals, and went to this national for the first time. And I was like 13, 14, skating for only 3 years.
Sick.
And
Crazy.
and dude, I remember like I was so far off the level of skateboarding. There was amazing kid at that time skating. Probably you know about them. Noah Maillot, Tim Debauché, Hugo Westrelin. There's some names, but like these kids, bro, like they were on another level.
Right.
Noah Maillot at like 12, 13, he was already sponsored by many brands, had his own private skate park, and like he had been skating since he was like 3, 4, and like I was next to him skating since I was like 12 or 11, and it was like there's such a big difference. And I remember like my legs were shaking so much when I was skating. I wouldn't be able to put up a run together or anything, but that's one of the first memories. And then I don't know, biggest memories, some other competitions. I mean, 2023 French Nationals again. One of the first time I went into like one of the big finals of the adult championship, because before that it's divided between under 18, over 18. It was pretty hectic as well. Really, really proud of like how I skated that back then. It was really good, really fun, really good. And then one of the most vivid memories I've had was like 2023 again, skating a lot of European contests and getting flown out just to skate was everything I dreamed of when I was a kid. I was like, this is crazy. I remember I have memories of me being in bed with a homie when we were doing sleepovers just before we go skating, looking at a skater and being like, oh wow, they have sponsors, they get shoes for free, they get flown in the countries just to skate and stuff. And I remember it was our biggest dream. We'd be like, we were so stoked. Even if a brand offered us like stickers, we'd still be hyped, you know? Sure. And having accomplished that is kind of like, wow, you kind of made what you were starting like to dream about when I was a kid. And well, there's still so much more to that and so much more that I want to explore and do and stuff. But this memory was really like, yeah.
I remember, I forget when it was exactly, but there was a simple session that you were in.
Yeah.
I was watching it, and like I saw you, but I didn't know who you were back then. But like I remember seeing you like the long hair and just like flowing around, kind of like, you know, crazy style, and I was like, dude, this guy's just different, man. And then it's just crazy that you're out here now and I met you in person. So I was like, yeah, you posted that on Instagram the other day, and I was like, bro, I remember this.
I don't know why X Games you posted it. I was like, what the fuck? I've seen it.
It's your style, man.
A friend of mine sent it back then.
It's so flowy and shit.
It was not even the right run. Yeah. They used the wrong run, and they posted it on X Games TikTok, and I was like, what the fuck? Which has like 3 or 4 million followers. It's like, dude, so random.
But like I remember that, and so it just goes to show. I think you're very unique with your skating. You know, like your style is really cool, man. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, I think you have like.
This contest was so good. Okay, for background on this contest, I didn't qualify for the finals. I was with a homie of mine, Brendan Vajalo. He skated for Olympics for South Africa. He's a really cool dude, skating for Red Bull, going all around the world, having all these projects. Super smart kid, super nice person, one of the best humans. Probably on my screen, on my screen sometimes.
The people you share with on Instagram or something.
For sure. And so he did qualify for the finals, which were only 14 skaters, and he enjoyed himself. And before that, Simple Session is a pretty hectic contest. There's parties, big parties. Yeah. And we went out till like 3, 4 a.m. He knew he was not going to skate. And we came back in the room and he's like, hey, yo, homie, I think I'm not going to skate tomorrow. You're going to have to skate for me. We're like, fucking hell. So the call out was at 10 in the morning. Or no, not even, 9 in the morning. So we had to get to sleep at 4. Go in the park at like 9. I had to because this motherfucker was sleeping. And go into the park at 9, and I was the first skater skating. So like I had the call out basically at 9 in the morning. Crazy. After partying until 4 in the morning and skating straight away.
You're young.
And that's the run you saw.
Okay.
And
so you're like mad hungover.
I was probably still drunk when I was skating.
That's why your style's so like flowy.
Probably. And honestly,
That's
it's
awesome.
one of the contests where I had the least stress of my life. Yeah. Because there is no stakes for me. I was not supposed to be here. I was not prepared to. I was not stressing about being here, and it was like just bonus.
That's a good thing.
I'm in the finals, so there's just bonus. So I did the run, and then I ended up not even missing a trick. I did the full run, which was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Middle of the run, I go fakie manual, flip out, switch flip out, fakie flip out, in the middle of the run. Like, who the fuck does the manual in the run? Just because I was having fun. It was super fun.
I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
Whenever you see someone skating and they're having fun, you know, like smiling and shit, you know, like and they're landing tricks, it's just fucking the best thing ever.
But it's really hard.
Well, yeah,
it's really hard to like
big ass park.
It's really hard to
bunch of other like
try to have fun when you're doing contests. Like,
and like not everybody's like hanging out talking. They're like got their headphones on, right?
Sure.
Like focusing.
I'm the first to do this.
Yeah.
I hate to have like all these noise around me, so I just put out headphones and like. Most of the time, I don't even have music in it, just to get the noise a little bit like
noise canceling.
Slider, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, that's interesting. I used to do that a lot too, but then I found for some reason I think that the noise canceling part, or just not being able to hear myself skate, messes up my balance a little bit. So I stopped.
Probably it has to do with
the inner ear and shit. Yeah, it's weird like that, but it does help you focus at least.
I don't have noise cancellation. It's just it blocks the noise
it's just a little
entering
bit
from my ears. That's all.
I saw recently there's like there's some ear plugs that you can get that are like
outside, right?
Yeah, they're like they're called loop or something like.
And then they go on your skin, not inside.
So they don't like block the hearing in a bad way. Like it's something that your body can still deal with, but it's like nicer for your mind. Yeah, it's so much easier that way, I think. When it's like a lot of commotion, especially there's a lot of people talking to block that out and just like focus on the skating, I'm sure it's like.
Yeah, that's a really like contest is a lot of like trying to do abstraction of all of what's going on around, because you have you have like time stress because you have to train in between that and that spot, and you only have that much time, and everyone is doing training as well, so it's just like really hectic. People cutting your lines or you cutting people's lines by accident, and then you're in the middle of your run, you don't want to like stop, and then it's just like crazy, and then there's all this noise, all this like pressure, people wanting to do like the photographs, wanting to have the photos for the contest, or like interviews, everything is just going at the same time, and it's just like trying to focus on staying like in your zone, in your thing, is probably the hardest part of that. And also going back to that zone when your time comes for skating is like really hard, because you have to be able to get into that time and that zone at the specified time, because you don't know when you're skating. You're like 5th or 10th or whatever skater you are on the list, but you don't know how long it's going to take till you get there. So you wait for your turn. your legs get warm, your legs get cold.
Yeah. Your heart rate, I think, has a lot to do with it, right? Because
a lot.
You see skaters between other people's lines, they go for a run or two. It's like, I think it's to keep the heart rate up, keep the blood pumping through the muscles, keep them warm, right?
Important.
Yeah,
it's very important.
Because if you stay cold and then all of a sudden you go for your trick, boom, you're just not going to have any energy to.
So weird.
You know, especially if it's a big trick like stairs or something, you got to be able to compress and take the compression.
Yeah, and like check how like also be able to structure a run is really important.
Yeah, like how do you go into a contest? Like you know, are you looking at the park for a little bit first and just thinking like, okay, I could do this, that? Like how do you? What's in your head when you're figuring it out?
Sometimes if it's a park I know.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with the flow, skate it, see how I feel inside it. Yeah. But sometimes, some other times, I also have the plans of the park before I go to the contest, and so I've never seen it. So I can just look at it, imagine, and try to picture what I could do in the park, and then go there, try it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't. Sorry. By the way, I apologize for my English.
Hey, you have great English, man.
Frenchies.
I'm very amazed.
But basically, it's just like you have to.
You're funny.
You have to take in consideration like all of what you have to include in your run. So there's a bunch of criteria that you have to respect. They're very similar, especially now that every contest is getting onto the IOC format and the Olympic format, rating and grading. You have to skate switch. You have to use a lot of the park. Most of what the park you can use. You have to make big transfers. You have to skate rails, ledges, slides, flip-ins, flip-outs if you can. Yeah. And also you have to think that judges are still human and like they interpret your performance as they see it. So it's really important to like get a good trick to start, get a good trick to end. That's like many people don't take that into consideration and don't take that the judges are not only seeing your tricks but also how you do it and how they go with it with each other, you know. So it's really important to have like, I don't know, good trick in the beginning, good trick in the end for sure. And then the rest can be filler or can be like having one banger in the middle or something. But remember like having like a good trick in the end. That's something I learned from the training in Shell in Paris and stuff. So
are contests all structured differently, or is there like a general kind of structure to like contests nowadays? I mean, SLS kind of made it. Like,
it's all
really,
different.
Right?
It's all different. It used to be hectic. Like, oh, we're gonna do 1 minute and a half, 3-minute jam, 4 skaters, 30-second runs, best trick skater, best tricks and runs and stuff. And now it's more like, more often is runs, only runs,
like a few runs and then single tricks.
2 runs. Best run counts, and then at the end sometimes you have best tricks as well, but most of the time it's just 2 runs, same format, 1 minute, maybe 45 seconds.
Like there's X Games, so there's a lot of different contest formats, but I think the most popular X Games, SLS, the Olympics now obviously, that's every 4 years.
But now they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah, they're all exactly
45 seconds.
Yeah. Maybe that happened like 10 or so years ago. They started like really structuring contests better, right? For television, I think, really, for like, you know,
probably
for the popular media, because they
to be fair, I really enjoy watching contests.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, exactly.
It's really cool, really fun.
The replays of any SLS event is actually really fun to watch. Yeah,
super nice. I think it has to do with the filmers and people getting involved in that. Like, I know a few of them, great people, like great filmers. They come from street background and like they come from like filming deep end or like fucking 20 stair rails and stuff. Like it's crazy, and then it's just in the park and doing the same thing, same replays, just like crazy quality material. Like they have those cameras where super sick replays, slow-mos and stuff. I love it. One of the guy I enjoy the most watching is Gochi Estrella. The guy, he's one of the Red Bull filmers and always has the slow-mo cameras, getting involved in all the Olympic contests and stuff. And he makes those small Instagram reels where it's just one trick, but super slowed down with the music, super nice, filmed everyone, and it's pretty popular on Instagram. He gets really good results, but it's really enjoyable to watch, and it's so nice. Yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
He also does drone a lot with FPV, with GoPro and stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
With skating?
He has a whole GoPro partnership.
That's sick.
Super sick.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, the cameras, they're coming out with like new updated cameras every year now. It's
kind of. Even iPhones are so good to film.
I know,
now.
right? Yeah, exactly.
Well, that we're filming.
Yeah, that's what we're filming on right now.
For real.
Freaking iPhone. It wasn't like that like 10 years ago, but now it is, you know? Like, just get the new iPhone.
I like that even though there's new cameras all the time, skateboarding keeps being like based on P2 and VX1000 and like Panasonics, and that's really interesting.
I think it's just because of like the effect that the VX had on skateboarding. It's like there's so much nostalgia in that.
Not only in skateboarding, like how skaters
so many other
film
industries too.
I've seen a documentary about that, like not too long ago, about like how VX filming and street filming and skateboarding influenced cinema so much. Like for travelings, for like I've seen a lot of that. I don't remember the name of the show or the interview was on, but it was like really, really interesting.
Yeah, I know, like for the porn industry, which is kind of weird to talk about on a podcast, but the VX like apparently completely transformed that shit, because before the VX they were filming porn like cameras.
Hey, yo.
I just say, but the VX
I didn't come to talk about that.
I mean, it is what it is.
Good fisheye right here.
Yeah,
hey,
exactly,
look at the
right?
angle right here. That's crazy.
Anyways, moving back to skateboarding.
Moving back to skateboarding, yeah.
The skateboarding has come so far. I think it's amazing how nowadays we can have little kids doing crazy shit.
So crazy.
That, like back in the day, I think it wasn't so many like little kids doing that kind of stuff. It's
everything is just like, it's not all black and white. It's not all white or black. It's like everything is just like has pros and cons, and like, you know, those kids skateboarding, like some of them don't really like know why they're doing it. They just try to go for the hardest trick, try to go for the biggest trick, but it's just like it lacks purpose. But still, they're amazing skaters. When you go to Europe, is one of the thing you're gonna realize is like 12 or 15 years old kids are like on top of podiums of like huge contests, and like they're like they have the craziest bag of tricks and craziest way of skating, but it's just like you're never gonna see them street skating. Never. And it's kind of like sad in a way, because it lacks authenticity, you know.
Sure.
And when you look at the skaters like today that are performing in Olympics and SLS and stuff, you can still see that they're all come from a street background. Most of them, like except actually all of them.
I would say like for sure all the Brazilians.
All Brazilians.
You know what I mean? Like,
everyone
in Brazil.
Just tell me one that doesn't come from a street background.
You know what I mean? Like
maybe Gustavo Ribeiro, but still did crazy stuff in street as well.
Tons of street stuff.
Yeah, but just like
I would say maybe more the Japanese kids, but there's tons of street skating in Japan, but I think it's a lot at night, so it's like an underground kind of thing.
For sure.
So like there's like a crazy street or a park culture out there, like everybody's skating these huge parks.
They don't have a choice. I mean, I've lived there for 6 months last year, and
but they built
I barely even skated street because there's no way to do it. The police comes like 5 minutes into the session.
Right.
Like you have what, 5 tries, 6 tries.
Yeah,
and
it's a mission.
It's a mission, and you have to go at night. You have to like get people, and all of them, they all have like a full-time job. So it's really, really hard to link everyone together and then go street skating. And that's what I really that's why I really appreciate now whenever I see a Japanese skating video. It's just like all the work that's been behind that, even more than any European, American video, whatever. Like big companies, like them is just like fueled only by passion and skate.
Just grit, you know? Like, let's learn this shit. Like,
for sure, it's crazy. And they make some of the best videos.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Oh, sure. And the street skating that comes out of these guys, that mostly skate parks or learn in parks or whatever, is just mind-blowing.
It's mind-blowing.
Because I think the parks out there in Japan, they're not small obstacles. Like, they build that shit like crazy big.
One of the things I don't get is that how they get so good at skateboarding with such shitty parks.
Yeah.
If you look at that, the parks they're skating is like, okay, maybe now they're having bigger projects and stuff, but like they are skating the worst parks. Not the worst, but like really old parks, really old obstacles. How do you say it?
Upcycle, yeah. Like a remake of an old obstacle. Oh, okay,
obstacle.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God. Pronunciation.
Yeah, they said upcycle.
But yeah, they're skating such bad parks and still getting so good, and like so crazy.
Dude,
so
I
crazy.
honestly I think that has something to do with it, because really good skaters come out of that kind of thing where you have to get creative, and you really want.
And they
to
are
figure
really
that out.
creative.
Yeah, right.
They are super creative.
Yeah, I know they are, right? Like you see the craziest stuff coming out of Japanese skaters, like stuff that you just like, what? That maybe like people were doing that back in the day on like curbs and stuff, but not down 15-stair handrails, you know.
Every aspect of it as well.
Right.
Not just like handrail skating or ledge
Yeah.
skating, in like every aspect, like flat ground,
True. True.
bowl skating,
Oh, the
vert
style
skating.
is so good.
The style
man.
is really good.
Just
yeah.
you know.
And it's fun how
Wow.
they improved on that, because I remember back 5-6 years ago, everyone used to hate on Japanese style, be like, oh, that's tasteless. And now when you look at the contests, I'm thinking especially Street League and Olympics, because I was watching Rome 2 weeks ago. The style these guys have is crazy.
Yeah. Crazy. It's so fluid.
And I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's just like finesse, you know,
So
mad
good.
finesse. So
Everything
hey,
is perfect.
Let's talk about your time in Japan, because that's a big part of your story, right? Is going
Yeah.
out there. What was that journey all about?
Well, it was an academic project, because I was doing a student exchange abroad with a Japanese school. So I went every morning, and learned and got taught how to speak and write English. It's pretty cool. Very fit, very sick, very, very hard. It took me 4 or 5 months, and I still I can talk Japanese, but only what I've been taught, only what I've learned to say. It's like there's all these, I don't know how to say it, but there's all these kanjis and words that apply to just one specific situation. It's really in contrast with English or any Occidental language, Western language, where you can use other words to describe one. I could say green bottle for this, and people would understand. But for Japanese, there's so much context and so much specificity in the way you express yourself that you cannot just invent and explain words that way. They're not going to get you or understand you. So that's the really hard part of it. But yeah, I'm doing a master degrees right now in marketing, international digital marketing. Actually, that's the name of my how do you call it? The
remote
specialization.
You were telling me about the specialization.
Major.
Yeah.
It's the name of my major.
Yeah.
So there's that. That's also why I'm in Bali right now, is because I'm doing an internship, which is in Bali. Just finished doing it a week ago. But anyways, back to Japan. So so that was January 2024, and I stayed there for 6 months. Super nice. First time I really lived far from friends, from my family for so long, by myself as well. I've never lived by myself before that, and went pretty smoothly, honestly, for that. I didn't expect it to be hard, but still, I was first time I move out, it's first time I have to figure out how to get food for myself,
Right?
how to get stuff for myself, book appointments if you need it and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of hectic when you think about it.
Definitely.
Because back then, it's every single time I have to go to the doctor, I go to the family doctor, and that's it. And then there you have to find the doctor in all the Japanese fucking kanjis, which you don't get anything, find the right address, go there and be like, what the fuck is this building? And then go and then talk in Japanese about your problem. So hard.
Good way to learn Japanese, I guess, right?
So crazy.
It just forces you to learn that shit, right?
But yeah, every day, probably I was going to school, and after that I would go skating. Super nice skate park they have. Nagai is called. It's just basically that's skate park, which is kind of like a street plaza. There's 2 huge ledge on the side, 2 flat rails, and then there's that small/big section with that steep and short ass rail, which I barely even skated because I don't even know why it's here. But anyways, went to that park. Locals are super nice. Made a bunch of friends. Ate the best food ever. Japan is so good for the food.
yeah.
So nice. But yeah, I was living in Osaka, so it's really a vibrant place of Japan. It's known for nightlife. It's known for being a little bit less rules rather than the rest of Japan. Japan is super strict, and everyone follows these patterns and does what the society expects from them. And Osaka is one of those cities where it's a little bit more Western oriented, and they have that mentality where they're a little bit more free. So it's really nice to live there. But it's huge. It's so big. Even after 6 months, there's barely any part of the city that I actually know really good. It's really, really hard to. It's it's those megapoles, as I call it, the big cities, the big agglomeration. How do you call it? Megapoles? How do you call it? In French, it's megapole, but it's just
a mega city, just
mega
big,
city.
big
Those
city.
mega cities, it's so hard to
For sure. So many different areas, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
definitely.
So yeah, I never really got to know one area really good. I only knew my way from point A to point B and maybe a little bit around point A and point B, and that's it.
Yeah. So is there a lot of street skating in Osaka, or is it mostly just parks and stuff?
A lot of spots, a lot of street skating, especially compared to the rest of Japan.
Yeah.
But still, like,
Still
really hard to. It's a mission to go on a mission.
Yeah. It's a mission of a mission.
For real.
Especially if you want to film something, yeah, because
For sure.
you got to set everything up and then, you know, definitely. So, we're out here in Bali, Indonesia. I kind of forgot to talk about that in the beginning of the podcast, but I think it's really cool how you're out here. You said you're out here on an internship. Is that how it began, you coming out to Bali, or are you just here?
So, first time I came to Bali was actually following that student exchange from Japan.
Okay.
On the way back going to France, I was like, well, I have a few weeks free. I just want to explore a London part of Asia before going home. And I was like, well, that seemed pretty cool. There seems to be a good skate parks, good weather, good waves, whatever. So
right.
I'm just going to go there. Went there and it was so fun. I was supposed to stay 7 days, ended up staying 3 full weeks. And the only reason I came back is because I had my flight, which I almost missed. And this was also a really, really crazy part. I was like, I came home to France after flying from Bali to Singapore, Singapore to Osaka, Osaka to Taipei, Taipei to Paris. This whole trip was like 39 hours long, 40 hours long.
Yeah.
Bro, in one go. I came back from Bali to Osaka and I had only 5 hours to pack everything, give it back to my landlord, go to the airport, check in.
Oh man, Russian.
I have such shitty anecdotes about that. Is that anecdote a thing? An anecdote?
Something like that.
How do you call like small inside stories?
Yeah, anecdote, yeah.
Anecdote?
I think you're right. I'm not sure what anecdote means, actually.
It's so many transparent words in French and English that it's really, I'm always confusing.
Even English is my native language. I don't understand with so many words still.
So
it's okay.
Basically, I go home. I had to go from my home in Osaka to the airport. I had my 2 big suitcases, and on the way rolling them, one of the wheels break. So I was just dragging my suitcase all the way.
Oh,
so I do this, get to the train station, put it in the train. Had to take a bus after that. The bus breaks my second luggage. Go to the airport,
dragging 2 bags.
Check in with the 2 bags, dragging them, and then I'm at the airport right there. And one of the bags was overweight, and the other one underweight. And they're like, "Sir, I think we're gonna have to transfer this and that." I'm like, "Dude, I have 2 luggages the same weight. The weight combined is just good enough. What is it a problem?" Policy, you cannot do it. Okay, I'm like, okay. I step aside. I do all my I mix all my shit together, whatever. Try to close my suitcase. The zip tie breaks. The zipper breaks.
Oh dear God!
I was like, at this point, when I went to check in the flight, I was like, am I even meant to take this flight? Is it like
someone's telling me something?
Someone is telling me something right now. Like my 2 luggages break, and then the zipper breaks, and then I have to pay overweight fee and stuff.
Yeah.
I was so stupid. So I was kind of stressed when I got in the plane at first, and then
just go with the flow.
Everything went fine.
Yeah,
it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that Bali has this way of testing people every time they come here. You know,
that's what I hear a lot. It's like
everybody.
The island is going to reject you if you're not meant to be here.
Exactly. You have so much patience out here. You know what I mean?
It's true.
And if you don't, and if you can't handle it, like you're gonna leave and you're not.
But
gonna
I think
come
there's a spiritual side to it.
Definitely.
Because
that's why, for sure.
you can feel all this energy around the island, and like some people truly feel sick about it. And like when you hear people's experience in Bali, it's like it truly looks like some of them are not meant to be here because so many shit happens to them, and like so many accidents. I don't know. I've heard so many stories, like people falling on the bike, people getting their shit stolen, people like having their house underwater because of the rain season and stuff. Like so many different stories, and like some of them, everything compiles, and it's just like you're not meant to be here. The island doesn't want you here.
It makes it difficult.
Whereas for some others, everything goes so smoothly, you know?
Yeah. I think also, I've seen some people with like really fucked up situations out here, and then they still don't care. They're like, all right, that was crazy. On to the next crazy thing. They already see it coming. And I think that's what you got to have, you know? You got to be able to be like, okay, that happened, but it's okay. You got to understand this place is like still developing, you know? Like,
true.
Everything is kind of like jankety out here. But
what do you think about spirituality here?
Well, yeah, it's really deep out here. I think there must have been some crazy stuff back in the day, because there's like 3 active volcanoes on this island or some shit, or maybe it's 2 or 3, anyways.
Sure.
And then there's like it's just like this. The amount of energy coming out of the earth, like magnetism and shit,
Yeah.
it goes out into like everything else, you know, like
Probably.
nature and the ocean and everything is, the ocean's hectic as fuck. Like some of the best surfing in the world, but it's because like there's gnarly hectic currents and shit around all over the island, you know.
Also,
So,
a lot of seismic activity.
yeah, a lot. Yeah, exactly. 'Cause it's the volcanoes, it's the plates shifting. We're right on the ring of fire. You know what I mean? Like
For sure.
literally right on it. So, yeah, I think there's a lot that comes just from that, and then beyond that, I think this island is very old, like very, very, very old. It was the bottom tip of the subcontinent that used to be Sundaland before the end of the last ice age. So,
Yeah.
like I think there's a lot to do with that. There was a lot, like being on the bottom tip. It was probably like this major place, even way back when, you know, where like people would like, you know, fish from, and there was probably like crazy communities.
Well,
out
that's
here.
one of the reasons the
Right?
Silk Road was to pass by Bali, and that's why it's the Hindu community is so big here.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the only reason it's the only island that is non-Muslim in all of Indonesia.
yeah,
People tend to forget that Indonesia is Muslim so often.
and
People think that Bali is Indonesia.
right,
a
yeah,
lot.
because it's like the only place in Indonesia that most people go. You know, like
Yeah. Oh no. Most Western people.
Western
go.
people go. Yeah, exactly.
That's a really
very big difference.
A big bias.
Yeah, true. And I think that the Hindu religion has a lot to do with that because it makes it a very unique place. Like
Yeah.
it's not Indian Hindu, it's Balinese Hindu, so it's a different
Yes.
version of it. But I think also like the religion, if you look at the religion itself, it's a very, very different religion from most religions. It's not monotheistic, it's polytheistic.
Yeah.
You got all these different gods that represent different things, you know, and that being of that, it's an older style of religion, so it goes back further. So you got this like crazy rich history that I think, yeah, there's a lot of spirits out here and shit, you know, there's a lot of energy, like old
I
energy
agree
out here. It kind of messes with you, right? Like you got to be
agree.
able to like take it in stride.
It's
like,
very similar in Japan as well.
Yeah.
Because Japan is such an old
Very old as well.
civilization as well.
True.
And that's where I first kind of like opened myself to spirituality, because before that in France, I'm an atheist, but I still like, I don't really
Agnostic.
believe agnostic. I
Yeah.
don't believe in any god
Me
or
as well.
religion, but I still think that there might be or might have been higher powers or higher civilization interacting with us or anything.
Yeah.
But rather than that, I never really paid attention to religion too much
Sure.
in France, because it's such a
The Catholic Church, it's a system of
no.
control.
It's just like it's so diverse. Like there's so many religions in France, and
yeah.
everything is accepted, and there's so much cultural mixity and diversity in France that it's just like it's the norm.
Sure.
I have Muslim friends, Jewish friends, Catholic friends,
Right.
agnostic friends, like everything together, and it's just like it's all okay, it's all fine.
Sure.
Hindu friends, everything. And coming in civilization where religion takes a big role and,
is, right.
and plays a important role into not only personal life but like community life as well is really interesting. And Europe is super rich, but it's a different richness than Japan or Indonesia, all these places, because first of all, it's different religions and it's different beliefs. But second of all, it's different ways to celebrate and stuff. Like for them, it's a little bit more sacred, I would say. We have a lot of days off and sacred days in France, and which became off days. But still, like I don't think it takes as big a proportion in the island life or like the country life as it does in Bali or in Japan or some places. And I find it really interesting and really beautiful. And like when I went to Japan, I went for the first time on purpose to a temple or a church or something, and started like observing how people behave, like trying to get the feeling what people were feeling. And I was like, then that's kind of like peaceful, that's calming and stuff. So I remember one of the things I started doing there is trying to show gratefulness. I'm not praying to anyone or doing anything. I'm just taking a moment to like just appreciate what you have, what you've been going through, and like what's all in your life and stuff. And since then, I've done it like in Japan, in Indonesia, in China, in France, Spain. Like every single time, like I have a little off time after traveling, going for a contest, going for an event or something. Try to find like a sacred place, whatever the religion is. Just go there and take a few minutes just to appreciate, first of all, the place and the space, because usually it's beautiful. And second of all, just like take your time to like be grateful of what you have, you know, and show gratefulness for you, for your family, for whatever. And then I think it's really important because it settles you back in the moment, back in your life, and yeah.
True.
I do it every once in a while. Like I couldn't give you a period, but like every 2-3 months, I visit a temple. I'm like, oh, that's really nice. So
True.
yeah, take a little moment.
Yeah, I think there's something really deep behind gratitude. It's like this vibrational energy that is like the foundation of all life, you know? Because you're saying you sit down, you kind of think about what you're grateful for. It takes you back to this foundation of like happiness, like in bliss. You like live in the moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think there's something to that goes like really deep. Like,
and it slows. It also has this power that slows the moment a little bit because the society we live in is just like everything goes so fast. People expect a lot of things from you, from work perspectives, studying perspective, skateboarding perspective, or anything. Especially when you have the sponsors, the competitions, all this stuff. But step aside. I'm just gonna talk for the Mr. Everybody. It's just like there's so much pressure in the society, and like everything goes so fast, and like people think oh, I have to be rich before my 30s, I have to get married, I have to get a wife, kids, whatever. And then it's just like everything goes so fast, so quick. There's so much information all the time, so much like digitalization, so much like advertisement going everywhere. Like just like everything is so fast paced that just like taking a moment like off screen, off anything, just you and yourself and the place you're in is just really nice. Even outside of any spiritual belief or anything, it's just like calms you down, settles you down. And every single time I do it, after it, I'm just like, for a few days, I'm just like so much more calmer, I think.
Yeah, happier, right? Just,
yeah.
Like no matter what happens, it can't bother you because like you're grateful no matter what. And the gratitude always overtakes like the nervous or anxiety or the depression or the sadness, whatever it is that you're feeling that's kind of negative or just not positive as much. Like the gratitude is just like this wave of water that just washes all that away and like refreshes your soul, your mind, but your heart, you know, you feel it down here, right? So,
you feel it in your whole body.
Yeah. Like all that anxiety, you feel it up here, but when you feel gratitude, it's here, you know, it's like, it's all the chakras, you know?
I agree with you.
Yeah, it lights that stuff up.
It helps me a lot because I have ADHD, so like everything is just like, everything goes so fast. I have so many stuff going in my head all the time, and like, I think it's good because it gives you a lot of energy, especially for what you're passionate towards. Sure. But still, like, in a lot of cases, it's hard to go through. Like when I was studying, when I was in school, it's just like sitting in a chair for 2 hours listening to someone, and something you don't want to be listening to is just like
that's burnout, bro.
So hard to go through.
I think learning has to be like a community effort. It has to be something you do with other people. If you try to do it on your own too much, it's very difficult, especially if you're not interested in it. But even the most uninteresting topic, if you're learning it with like 2 or 3 of your friends and communicating about it, then it's fun, you know, then it can be interesting.
I don't get why school became what it is right now, because
school should be like circles of people learning, not,
I agree.
and desks facing the same way from one person.
Feels super stupid.
It does. You start to fall asleep, and there's a reason behind that.
When you look at kids learning by themselves, it's never them just being here and lecturing about something or being lectured about something. It's them interacting, touching, tasting, putting their tongue on materials, and just like going all around and exploring. And I think that's
experimenting, right?
That's what most of learning should be for every topic. Absolutely. I don't know, like if it's history, just make it interesting.
I think there's a lot too in society, especially with social media, where like we're looking up to all these people that do these amazing things now. Yeah. And it kind of makes us feel like, oh, we're not good enough or something like that.
Yeah,
like
that resonates a lot with what I just said before. I agree with you.
And I think that like working with other people especially, you can get really positive feedback sometimes, and that stuff helps you so much to get like, to just get past that like I'm not good enough.
And build confidence as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
It always happens, like, oh, who am I to be doing this, you know? Well, I mean, you're a human being, just like anybody else. Like, just try it, you know? And if you fail, so what, you know? Except that we all fail at things, you know? Like, you usually never succeed the first try, and if you do, well then, hey, maybe you should stick with that, you know? That's probably something that works really well for you. Everybody's different, right?
Sure.
I think that's why I love skateboarding so much, you know? Is because no matter what, you're probably not going to land the trick first try, but if you keep trying and trying and trying, you're going to get that shit. And it's just like, you try it with your friends, and then your friends kind of cheer you on, you cheer your friends on, and you kind of push each other to try harder stuff. And then when someone gets something, we all understand like how hard that shit was to learn, to land. We're fucking hyped on that shit, you know?
Sure.
Like,
And there's
like, yes.
more to that. There's also like no social boundaries at all. It's one of the things I really love the most in skateboarding. It's just like you could be skating with, I don't know, a pro skater that has like limited stuff and one kid that struggled to buy a pair of shoes, and like it's all the same people skating together and enjoying your time together. And like the kid can be 12 or 13, and like the older guy can be 45 and still going for a session together and like having fun, and that's pretty beautiful.
Yeah, that's true.
Can be girls, boys.
Skateboarding is a very social thing.
It's super social.
Super social. And if you go out and you don't socialize, it doesn't matter how good you are. People aren't going to like you as much as if you are social, right? Because if you're very social with people, it doesn't matter how good you are. The people are always usually going to like you because you're just like a friendly person, you know?
Yes.
Like it's funny like that with skating.
Being good at skateboarding helps as well.
People respect you. Yeah, absolutely.
It helps a lot because
Absolutely.
people come to you and come talk to you and stuff. Even especially when you travel.
Yeah.
Going to different places where I know no one and stuff. Just skating in the park and like people are like, oh, where you come from, what are you doing and stuff.
Right.
Which is really nice to be, but usually I'm the one outgoing and being,
like saying hi and stuff.
going to people's. I always greet everyone in the spot. That's a lesson I've learned in Paris. I was like, I've been scolded in Paris before not saying hi a few times, and ever since I just like, because I was a kid, I was not understanding. I was just like afraid of saying hi to people I didn't know and stuff, and like after that, I've just like ever since now I go on the spot, I say hi to everyone.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are just like, they don't expect people to come say hi, especially in different countries. You know? They look at you weird. They're like, I don't know you.
Do you want something from me? Like,
do you want something?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm just going to say hi. And then after that, they're like, go chill and they just greet you and stuff. But especially in different cultures, sometimes it's not expected for you to come towards other people.
Yeah.
In Japan, it was a little bit weird. Like,
right. Yeah.
Well, part of it was weird because they don't always greet everyone, because they're mostly work by groups, group friend cycles and stuff, and they stay within their groups.
Yeah.
But also there was a part where they were really, really welcoming, because for them to see a gaijin, someone that is not Japanese, that is a foreigner, it's very rare, especially skating. And so like I had that little thing like where like I was a special thingy, almost like an attraction. Not just in skateboarding, and everywhere. And when I was taking transportation, metro and everything, people used to look at me very weird, especially when you're like the only white person in a train full of like Japanese or Asians. It feels like a little bit weird and like, but they're not racist, because they're very polite, but they still are racist and still very, very communitarist people, even though they're in big cities and stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, you don't feel it as racism, like how do you say, open racism,
right?
But you can still see and understand that you're not treated as everyone.
Yeah, you're not one of them. You're different.
Yeah,
you're a different kind of human
and
being.
you'll never be. And that's a lot of what expats and foreigners that live in Japan long term are just gonna tell you. Like,
just get used to it.
Get used to it, because it's not gonna change. People, you're never gonna be,
no matter how much
the neighbor or whatever. You're still gonna be the gaijin and the foreigner.
No matter how much Japanese you speak,
or you know,
still gonna be a
or the culture, you know, whatever.
Yeah. There's been some really good movies made about people that go to Japan for whatever reason and like completely integrate into the culture, but you're still the Westerner, you know, or whatever. You're still like...
My aunt, she lives in Japan.
Yeah.
She is married to. My aunt, my uncle. My uncle lives in Japan. He is married to a Japanese woman, and they have like a chocolate business together and stuff.
Yeah, cool.
It's pretty cool. Really, really cool.
I mean, opposites attract, man. Like you see that all the time, you know?
Yeah.
White and black people, or like Asian.
Your wife is Indonesian as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was, you know, I've had many girlfriends when I lived in the U.S. growing up, but I was so much more attracted to Asian women.
Such a player.
And then, so I realized that Asian women are so amazing for me. So that's why I love coming out here, you know? So it's like, you just got to find what you love, you know, and go towards that. Go where you're treated well. That's what I always, you know.
Skateboarding helps you with that.
Oh, totally.
I mean,
it's a community, and
skateboarding
it's a
treats
language,
you so well.
Dude. Yeah.
Well, one of the things I always say when I talk about skateboarding to people that don't know skateboarding is like, wherever you go in the world, you know you're going to have a couch to sleep in and a friend to talk and have a beer with. It's like, I could go any fucking where, and I still will find skaters. Okay, maybe not in fucking Yemen or something. I'm pretty sure there's a fucking Yemen
There's skate scenes everywhere,
There
man.
is a skate scene in
yeah,
Yemen,
even in
for
freaking
sure, bro.
Egypt, there's a skate
But
scene. You know, like,
there is a skate scene.
yeah,
Yeah, I know.
It's like one skate park out there. Yeah.
But still, like anywhere you'd go, you have a friend and you have a couch to sleep in, and vice versa. If someone comes to Paris, he's welcome at the place. I've hosted many people, many homies at my place.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
Brendan, which I've talked about before, was one of them. Like he's a regular at the home. Whenever he comes to Paris, he just crashes at mine, and my mom loves him. And like he studied at ours, and he stayed at ours for like a full month, and just like traveling from Europe. Like we used to like stay at mine, go to concerts together, come back at mine, film in Paris for a few days, go to another event, come back. It was so cool, really fucking cool.
That's it's great to have parents that's supportive. You know, like it really is. You gotta have that. Because when they support it, it just opens the doors. You know, like.
Well, my
it so
parents
much
are
easier.
really supportive, but on another note, they're also really protective, and they have like still a way of thinking and way of teaching that is, and I don't know how do you say it. Fuck. Anyways, they have a way of thinking which is still like very protective, and in a sense, they still want me to go for the safe option, which is the reason I'm studying and I'm skating full time. I wish I would be skating full time. I had a little breakdown with them like a year ago, being like, "Why didn't you let me skate?" And they were like, "Well, you didn't have like a solid project enough. So if you did, we would have let you skate it. But like all you said were like, I want to skate and I maybe want to work on the side, but you never said you're gonna take ownership of yourself or anything, or had like any solid projects you wanted to go objectives. So they didn't let me just go for skating when I wanted to like take a year off." And I was so mad at them for that a little bit. And then after that, I realized it wasn't that stupid of a decision to like go for school and education and stuff, because it's super important in our society, even though it probably won't be as important in the next 10, 20 years. But I know they're doing the best they can, and they're giving me what they think the best is.
Exactly.
So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful for them and stuff.
And especially if they're paying for it, you know. I think
Yeah,
that's
they're
the
paying
most
for the school.
important
The school is so expensive in
Because
Paris.
a lot of kids, like, they grow up with parents that don't have money.
It's
you know?
it's a huge opportunity and a huge privilege I have. I know it, and I'm conscious of that.
Yeah, then that's wonderful that you appreciate it too.
It's,
you know?
I mean, for sure I
You're taking
appreciate it, but
advantage of
like
it.
I mean, we're super privileged.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at people around, especially in developing countries like Indonesia, you see kids here. They're probably never going to go out of the country, even never going to go out of the island. Like going to the next island and taking a boat, which is $15 or $20, is like a special thing to them. Like it's a big thing. It happens once or twice in their life. It's really, really like.
It has to do everything with the parents and how they raise them. Like, you know, if the parent doesn't have a lot of things going for them, but they also have like a smart attitude, they understand things, they can teach their child, hey, look, we don't have a lot of money, but you can still get opportunities to get scholarships, apply yourself, learn things online, that kind of stuff.
I think it's harder than that. It's not everything, and not every society is based on meritocracy.
More complex.
It's more complex than that.
That's true.
Like I've seen stuff and I've heard stories and stuff about people like they're really just, it's unfair. It's really unfair. Like, and that's why I'm saying it's a privilege. You're lucky. We're lucky to be here. I'm lucky to be here. Like,
you know, I think there's also something out here too. Jason was explaining to me. There's like a caste system still because of the Hindi religion. So it's like when you're born into a lower class, you kind of stay in that lower class. You don't have the same opportunities.
Well, not every. I've talked about that. Not everyone practices it in Bali, but it's a thing. Kind of is a thing. Yeah. And the Banjar especially, it's still important. But
it's the Hindu.
If you're outside of that movement, it doesn't really matter. But
it's the religion.
But it matters still. It still has a little bit of impact.
Yeah.
But I mean.
But anyways,
it's just really hard for some people to get out of the struggle, and like that's why I'm saying, like, growing up in mega hubs like Paris is exactly this. Not exactly. It's very similar to being in Indonesia, because there is such big disparities and such big difference. You can see people struggling so much outside and have very similar situations to you. Like they're never gonna go out of France. They're never gonna go. I mean, they can. It's much easier in France to get out of the system than it is from Indonesian people. Most of the people here don't even have a passport.
Yeah,
They don't even need it because they will never need it, and because
it's a lack of education generally.
it's a lack
Out here?
it's a lot of
And it
it's
goes-
a lack of government
It,
ownership.
it goes back to nationalism that came out of World War II. Like they
Yes.
just became a country here, not like the 40s or whatever. So
Yeah.
like it was after World War II. You know, they had like a independence movement.
Yeah.
Indonesia got separate from Japan, which before that was the Dutch and everything, and then the Americans kind of freed Indonesia. And then there was this whole anti-communist movement where they fucking killed a bazillion people out here that were communists just to keep Indonesia a non-communist country, which is totally fucked up. And then, yeah, it was like the guy in charge was like, hey, we don't want people to be like Westerner style out here. We want people to be Indonesian.
Hey
Grew
yo,
up Indonesian. Hey, it's Jason, speaking to the devil.
Jason. And he has a big bike.
There's a lot of history out here, man. Jason's a madman.
He is a madman.
I got to do a podcast
check
with
out-
Jason.
go
someday.
check out his,
Jason Lund, guys.
Go check out his minimum clips.
Yeah, yeah. All right,
But yeah, much history.
let's wrap it up, Carl, man.
Let's wrap it up.
We love you. Everybody loves you, man. You're the man.
Thank you so much. Everybody
Keep
loves
doing
you.
what you're doing, bro.
Thank you.
And I'll keep doing what I'm doing.
Fuck yeah. Let's go.
Let's get it.
Hard Eye Skate Park, we out.
Yeah, peace.